Well, a community meeting concerning the Lyons Fire has now been scheduled. That's Thursday, June 28th, taking place at the Mammoth Lakes Welcome Center, 2510 Main Street, starting at 6 p.m. Interested members of the public, you are encouraged to attend. Fire management staff will be present to answer your questions. Now, the Lyons Fire, located in the Ansel Adams Wilderness, has grown to, at last report, 2,959 acres. Ignited by a lightning strike that was detected in early June, the fire is burning in rugged terrain, primarily in the Stairway Creek drainage north and west of the Middle Fork of the San Joaquin River. Now, fire activity moderated in recent days as the fire reached previously burned areas, including the 2017 Butte Fire footprint to the west and the 1992 Rainbow Fire footprint to the east. Now, recent firefighting efforts, according to that news release from the United States Forest Service, said they're focusing on the southwest side of the fire, north of the Middle Fork of the San Joaquin River, and the northeast side near Summit Meadow. All lodging and recreational service still open in Mammoth Lakes, as is the Devil's Postpile National Monument. The Pacific Crest Trail and the John Muir Trail are open at this time. However, some lateral trails leading into the fire area will be closed in the near future. Hikers, make sure you check that out. Now, the news release from the U.S. Forest Service notes fire plays an essential role in maintaining forest health. The Lyons Fire is reducing heavy fuel loads in areas with no recent fire history, which promotes, the press release says, forest resiliency and reduces drought stress. Now, the fire is currently staffed by 266 people, including 7 crews of firefighters and 8 helicopters. Aircraft is providing logistical support to firefighters and cooling hot spots near fire line construction. Air quality, smoke forecasts, they are available. There's a website, wildlandfiresmoke.net. And the press release notes if you'd like to see the smoke impacts in the area, you can go to the webcams at mammothmountain.com. And again, a community meeting scheduled for Thursday, June 28th at the Mammoth Lakes Welcome Center, 2510 North Main Street, 6 p.m. Fire management staff will be there to answer the public's questions. Well, the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power began performing emergency repair work on the Gorge power plant earlier this week, where they projected completion date of September 5th. Now, water being released from the Crowley Reservoir will enter the Owens River at the Middle Gorge power plant and flow downstream through the Owens Gorge and into the Pleasant Valley Reservoir. Inyo County residents, visitors, we can expect extremely high water flows in the Owens River below Middle Gorge power plant. Now, the press release notes that normal water flow rates are at 55 cubic feet per second. During this time period, the flows could almost be 10 times that, as high as 500 CFS. That's according to LADWP's John Crook. Inyo County Office of Emergency Services reminding residents and visitors that although Inyo County is not experiencing runoff conditions that are on par with last summer, with the planned water flow increase, calmer waterways such as Diaz Lake, Klondike Lake, and Mill Pond are safer alternatives to river floating. Now, that full press release, including some important safety tips, posted on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, Deb Murphy filed this story for Sierra Wave Media. Mark Bandini and his neighbors in West Bishop, they have a problem, one that started last fall but continues every time the wind kicks up. Bandini lives on Tumbleweed Road. The problem, ironically, are tumbleweeds gathering in dense masses against fences that separate homes from a grazing lease, jumping into yards, dancing down the street. Well, that actually sounds like fun, only to come to rest when they run into an immovable mass like a house or an RV. Now, after spending most of the winter and spring rounding them up and burning them, Bandini's about had it. His concern is the potential for fire now that the warm weather has drawn kids on bikes, dog walkers, and strollers across the lease. It's easy going now that all the tumbleweeds are stuck to residential fences. A burning tumbleweed morphs into a flying Molotov cocktail in even a light wind, Deb Murphy writes. Now, Bandini called the landowner, LADWP. So did KSRW. LADWP said, quote, The property in question is part of a current ranch lease. The lease agreement requires the lessee to maintain the property at its own cost such that no undesirable, unsightly, or nuisance condition exists. Now, the lessee could not be expected to keep the area tumbleweed free, but the lessee would be expected to remedy an unusual accumulation along the fence if the neighbors' concerns were brought to their attention. Deb's full report posted on SierraWave.net. Well, this weekend, the Mono County Sheriff's Office will be conducting heightened enforcement targeting boating under the influence. This is part of the national Operation Dry Water campaign. Law enforcement will be focused on educating boaters about safe boating practices, which include boating sober and enforcing the state's boating under the influence laws. Now, with the summer boating season underway, 4th of July holiday approaching, Mono County Sheriff's Office reminding everybody boaters, impaired boating is against the law. Operating a vessel under the influence of alcohol or drugs is illegal on all bodies of water, and the press release notes can lead to serious injuries and consequences. In California, illegal to operate a vessel with a blood alcohol content level of 0.08 or higher. That is the same as to operate a vehicle. Now, said Mono County Sheriff Ingrid Braun, the accidents and tragedies that happen because individuals chose to drive drunk or impaired on land or on the water are preventable. The decision lies with the individual on whether they chose to operate a boat or vehicle while under the influence, end quote. Alcohol is the leading contributing factor in recreational boating deaths and a major contributor to accidents. Mono County Sheriff's Office encourages boaters to enjoy the boating season to its full extent by boating sober, wearing a life jacket, and taking a boating education course. The National Operation Dry Water Weekend taking place this June 29th through July 1st. There is a website, operationdrywater.org or monosheriff.org. Get more information about boating or not boating under the influence. We'll be back with more news.